So, at Clay Hayes, brother, wanted to show you something. Just so that we're clear. Always indoors. You know. But I wanted to show you something. I noticed about when you were shooting. Happens to be that you have a very similar, if not the exact same stock as I do. Okay? It's called the Southern Crescent. This part of your stock right here is supposed to sit right there. Not here, but down here. Okay? That is so that you can hold like so. You don't even have to have this other hand doing nothing. Just off that. And that's what this is for. So you have control over a big old heavy rifle like such. Thought I'd mention that because, yeah, somebody brought up a comment or something. I'm hoping that this will go through on the Guardsman Om channel. If it doesn't, I'll put it out on my other backup channel. But, yeah. As I said before, yes, I have done this sort of thing quite a few times. I did an oops a few years ago where I couldn't carry my air rifle and use it with one hand because it's a big old heavy sumbitch. I was walking up the side of the mountain, had my pistol on my hip, had my air rifle in my hand, and I slipped. And I hurt this hand. Had a big old cut on it. I think it's actually healed up now. I got scars all over my hand, so it's good luck finding. Anyways, long story short, I couldn't use my hand all that well with the rifle, so I couldn't hold it. Now, yes, it's got an over-the-top strap basically wove onto it, so it gives it a little bit more happy to it. My point is that had I been carrying this rifle, you can see it does not have a sling or anything like that. And we've already checked clear, so YouTube guidelines, weirdos, they're good. But as I said, that is what this is made for, to go into the intercept of your bicep and deltoid. Not to go into your shoulder, because now you see how in the shoulder that point goes in. You either get the point down here in there or you get the point up there in there. And it's not made for cupping your shoulder. So this right here, that's what it's actually made for. And you'll see that's how it holds perfectly. If I want more to brace it with, I can hold with my second finger so I can actually manipulate the trigger. Okay? That's what that's about. In case you're wondering why your Franken rifle was biting so hard. Yes, I have done this before. I've shot it, shouldered, and I would not advise on it. You should, right there. You'd be surprised at how just lovely it sits. Rather than, up in your shoulder, because let me remind you, always wearing these kind of, heavy jacket, heavy shirt. So up in my shirt without the heavy jacket, still, it's biting. But in the crook of your arm right there, it just nestles nice and pretty. That is the way that a Southern rifle is supposed to do. This is actually a Woodsrunner 50 caliber. Okay. That I ordered specific from Dixie Gun Works. This is a Dixie gun. And like I said, as you can see, it's got that nice crescent on the back end. And that's actually specifically so that at this point, you have leverage with the underside of your arm. And at this point up here, you can actually push back and have pressure against your arm to be able to conform your arm to this. It allows you to have control over the weapon instead of having the gun bite you every time you shoot. Just nice little control. You can move around with it, okay? And you have control over the weapon if you need to be able to make an offhand shot. And all of this, mind you, is supposed to be so that you can do this one-handed. You got to remember, hunting accidents happen. And in warfare, which is what the rifles were first, pretty much that's what they were used in. Just remember, the militia did this sort of thing. Okay, this is one of the reasons I love this rifle, because it's true to the militias of the period and whatnot. Okay, this would have been a Southern style and historically accurate Southern rifle. Now, of course, it is not historically accurate. This has a CSA on the back, on the buttstock, of course, the wrong place, but the right place. But more than that, it's a modern replica. Okay, this is not an original. This is a modern replica. It's a replica that I've made to be as close to historically accurate as I could get. But like I said, it comes pretty much the way from Dixie, and all I had to do was put this on. The emblem had to be in a certain way. If I remember correctly, they didn't do it very often. But you'd have, on your rifle, you'd have your CSA either here or up here. And depending on how you held the rifle, that was insignificant of whether or not you had been captured or whatnot. Okay, military history. You can go. There's other books that you can go and check out for that one. But I'm just says there's specific reasons why certain parts of the handle and everything were put together that way. Okay, if you pay attention to them, you can actually make a difference in your shooting. And you'll find it'll be a lot more comfortable and almost like as if it was built for you. Tailored to you. That's the whole idea behind that. So like I says, in that crook of your arm there, right between your deltoid, okay, here, and your bicep. And by using this, you can control cant. Up and down, you control with your hand. And pressure against your shoulder allows you alignment and lock. And of course, this is why I says, in the comment, mind you, the Great Plains barrel length was never meant to go on a Southern Crescent rifle. And there's a reason behind this. You'll notice this is a Hawken, and it has a standard length barrel. All right. Of course, I'm not standing. If I was standing, you'd see this is a standard length Hawken barrel. Comes right to about my hip. I'm 6 foot tall. And that's about, relatively average body proportions. So, of course, you'd think, okay, well, it's not that long of a rifle. It's not. Okay, this is from here on my hand to my bicep, or actually to the crook of my elbow. So that gives you 4.5, maybe 5 foot. 4.5. It's not a long rifle, but a Great Plains barrel, like what he's got on his rifle, what you've got on your rifle, Mr. Clay, that happens to be one of those barrel lengths that really hangs out there, and it's difficult to control even with 2 hands. So again, the crook of this needs to go into your bicep, that'll actually put it to be more of a pulling motion and not a pushing motion, if you get what I'm saying. Because it's pulling against the axis of you, you're going to want to compensate for that because of the barrel swing. Okay? So instead of your aim being off and over here because you're shooting against the push, okay, and you're trying to dial it in to direct and on the push, cross, and now comp, straight down the line, and for every 50 yards or so, you add a width of your front sight. That's how you do it with iron sights. You add a width of your front sight. That's how you would compensate for the action of the barrel swinging to the side a little bit as it looses off. Okay? Now this is the actual manual of arms for that particular type of buttstock. If there is any confusion, let me know down in the comments. I mean, but this is what I'm talking about. As far as a comment I made earlier, okay? Do have some expertise behind this. So if you found that interesting or educational, please let me know. And let the rest of folks know. And by the by, I'm not monetized at all by choice, okay? I really ain't. I don't know what this whole monetization bullshit is. Because I was monetized at one point in time, and I made a grand total of what equates to now about 17 cents. You ain't making nothing. You ain't making no amount to live on YouTube. Just be clear. So anyways, just remember, I'm actually this way in real fucking life. Javier Dirty, have a nice day.